2, 1.
Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to KSAT News Now. Thanks for starting your work week with us. We get ready for what should be a really fun fiesta week.
Yeah, a lot of sighs coming from me this morning, though. Deep exhales. You okay?
I'm good. Okay. Feeling okay. Yeah. A little tired from some, fun over the weekend, but yeah, feeling pretty good right now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we also have our daily podcasts, which we have as well, and you can like, rate, and subscribe to that if you get a chance.
All right, so we'll get to our news and top stories in just a bit, but first we ask people on Instagram to share their best Manu Ginobili moment because he's so relevant, and that's because a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes, he is now officially a Hall of Famer, so we will hopefully get some responses from you guys and share some of those with us here as we talk about Manu getting into the Hall of Fame a little bit later as in this morning's show.
Also a big story today, Fiesta's first big parade is just hours away. We have the Texas Cavaliers River Parade tonight. Of course, the stage there is the Riverwalk. So what's tonight's forecast going to look like? We'll bring in Justin in just a bit.
That's right. Obviously, that's a big talking point, tonight's weather, but first our top stories, and we start in California today where the manhunt continues this morning for those involved in the latest mass shooting that left 6 people dead and 12 others hurt.
So it happened in Sacramento, California, early Sunday morning around 2. Sacramento police say they're searching for at least 2 people who opened fire for at least 45 seconds as people screamed and ran for cover.
Investigators say a fight broke out in the middle of the street, but they have not confirmed if it's connected to that shooting. Police also found a stolen handgun and are investigating if it was used in that shooting.
The dead include 3 women, 3 men. One of them has been identified as 38-year-old Sergio Harris. According to the Sacramento Fire Department, of the 12 wounded, at least 4 had critical injuries.
And another mass shooting here that we're talking about this morning, another very sad situation in a very crowded area. I was looking up where this district is. It's right next to the Sacramento Kings basketball arena, and it's kind of their main sort of strip where they have a lot of entertainment. So very sad to see. And with the amount of people there, I'm still a little surprised that they haven't been able to key in on a suspect yet.
So over the weekend, that's exactly what the families of the victims were so frustrated with. You would see them huddled, hugging each other, consoling each other. What they were so frustrated and are so frustrated about is that police really haven't given them many details. I mean, this happened Sunday morning and still Monday. We don't have many details. No description of who it could have been. Of course, there are witnesses that say, they were staying at one of the hotels. They looked out and they saw the shooter, with a handgun. But that's about it. There's no other information, and these families are desperate to find out what happened. Right,
and as we continue to get more information on this story, obviously we'll learn more about the victims here. We mentioned that one victim's name has been released, and according to family members saying that this was a person who lived life and was very vivacious too, so very sad news to hear about this shooting over the weekend.
And then the war in Ukraine, that's obviously still going on, no end in sight. And officials near Kyiv are getting a look at some of the human toll, damage, destruction from forces over the past month. And really just seeing these pictures, it's gut-wrenching to say the least.
Heartbreaking,
to see what they've turned these beautiful cities into.
It really is. And before we kind of move on, I think that's something that is so sad about this is that, that Ukraine for the past 30 years of their independence has worked to build their own cities, their own civilization, their own economy, and it's just horrible, horrible stuff. So Russia is reportedly scaling back forces in Kyiv, and Ukraine's top officials say that these scenes that have been left behind are evidence of a brutal war crimes against the Russian Federation. A U.S. defense official reports that about 2/3 of Russian troops who were around Kyiv have departed that area.
Ukraine's president visited a town near the Ukrainian capital where images showed civilian bodies on a street. They actually shared those. I mean, they're all over media outlets now, but they're on Instagram as well. CNN reporters observed a mass grave in the town, with the mayor saying there could be up to 300 victims buried on site. If you haven't seen these pictures, they're really, really hard. They're horrible to look at. And you're talking about bodies in gas stations, thrown in, on the side of the street. Again, just a really horrific scene, and there was one picture that really moved me, and it just showed the hand of one woman, and you know, perfectly manicured hand, fresh. So just to see her body lying there, no answers. What happened? Why?
Right. The loss of life here is immense, and to date, 410 bodies of civilians have been removed from the Kyiv region. The alleged war crimes have drawn international outrage, with Western leaders calling for investigations and increasing sanctions on Russia. And we talk about those scenes that are very graphic in nature, so just a warning about that. But this does not look like 2022. This looks like wartime from a bygone era, from World War II, or even during the Soviet Union, and it's so sad, and it is unbelievable to see just the amount of damage, destruction, and the amount of lives that have been lost.
Which is important to keep talking about it, right? That way people continue to remember. And just yesterday, the talk of the town, the Grammys, right? Another award show, but Ukrainian President Zelensky actually addressed the crowd there, and it was really powerful to see, because he of course related it to music, and we know of at least one band from Ukraine who ditched the scene, right? They have to, and they've decided to fight for their country. So one of the quotes that he mentioned, this is President Zelensky, our musicians wear body armor instead of tuxedos. So again, calling just making a plea again for people not to forget, and that music is really powerful.
Right.
So we cannot forget about Ukraine.
And of course, many of those cities there are still under attack, even though this news coming out of Kyiv, where it looks like it's reportedly some of those Russian troops have departed. Mariupol is still a city that is still under heavy bombardment and attack. All
right, back here at home, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is one step closer to making history as the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. But today, a major hurdle. The Senate panel is set to vote on sending the nominee to the full Senate.
That's right. Each of the senators who participated in the more than 30 hours of hearings and questions last month will have the opportunity to explain their decision before the committee takes a final vote.
So the Senate Judiciary Committee is meeting this morning, and while none of the Republicans on the committee have shown support for Jackson, Democrats will have at least one GOP vote in favor on the floor, and that's Maine Senator Susan Collins. She announced her support last year, and pretty much what she said, you know, even though we don't see eye to eye on several issues, she does believe that she is qualified.
But today's vote is expected to end in a tie. A tie would not stop her nomination. It just means that it'll then be in the hands of the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, who is a Democrat. So by all accounts, by all signs, it looks like Ketanji Brown Jackson will be our next Supreme Court justice. And this is a big step here. She's been talking about the impact of this as being the first Black woman to do this. And it's a very important moment here, I think, for our judicial system in general.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated with all those updates. Updated with updates.
Yes. All right, moving on to some different news here. Okay, Gino, El Contusion. I know David Sears loves that nickname. He's not here right now.
I love when you know all the nicknames. I know zero.
Manu Dona, which is a play on Maradona, who was the great Argentinian soccer star, or just Ginobili, as Charles Barkley would say all the time when the Spurs were in the deep playoff runs. Call it what you want, but you can now add Hall of Famer to Manu Ginobili's resume.
This was really exciting, is really exciting. So congratulations to Manu. He was officially announced as an inductee for this year's Pro Basketball Hall of Fame class, and he is a first ballot Hall of Famer after 4 titles with the Spurs and, of course, a gold medal with Argentina.
Yes, and that gold medal with Argentina, it was he says that was the highlight of his career, even though he was with the Spurs, because I mean, what he did for his country, and during that time to be a gold medal winner, especially when the U.S. is such a powerhouse, that was huge. But Manu also spoke to the media on Saturday when the official announcement was made. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
I was part of 2 incredible teams. And if it wasn't for being part of those 2 teams, I wouldn't be here. It's not just about individual accomplishments. I never won a scoring championship, an MVP, even first team. I'm here because of my surroundings, of the players I play with, of the coaches I've been coached with, and the organizations.
Okay, so a little bit about that. That just shows right there how humble Manu is. I mean, because he was willing to come off the bench for the Spurs during those title runs. And again, he gives all respect, everything to the teams that he played with, Coach Pop, obviously his Argentinian teammates, and also the guys here at the Spurs. Now, he said this on Saturday, that he doesn't miss the bumps and bruises and the grind of the season, obviously, but he does miss the camaraderie and, of course, the locker room environment that he had with the guys. He also enjoys being able to spend his winters now in Argentina, whereas before he was not able to.
So some reactions here on Facebook, I believe. Fred Garza, he says, as he should be. Joanne Atkins, she says, never a doubt he would be inducted. Manu is an outstanding individual and an amazing athlete. That is, I think, what so many people love. Besides the talent, not besides because it's huge.
Yeah.
That's what's given him a stage. It's really just him as a person, his character. What I loved about this is that he also shared with media why his son didn't want him to retire.
Right.
And that was because he loved the chicken fingers.
Yes. That was a great.
And then yesterday was another game, right? Where
they played last night, yeah.
Yeah, so last night, just seeing the reaction to the crowd and him, I don't know, he's just so humble.
Yeah.
We love him.
Yeah.
That ceremony will be held in September.
Right, and you were talking about his son, and he talked about that too on Saturday, just the fact that his family really grew up here. He said he spent most of his adult life here in San Antonio. He loves living here. He's never probably going to move unless maybe his sons end up being these big stars too or something, or his sons move on. But this is where his sons were born and raised, two of them, and he had a lot of great things to say. You could tell he's a family man, and good stuff there from Manu Ginobili. Congrats to El Contusión.
All right, final preparations are underway in downtown San Antonio as the Texas Cavaliers River Parade is set to kick off tonight, 7 p.m.
Oh yeah, we are getting ready here. So there are still tickets left to watch the parade in person, of course, along the Riverwalk. However, KSAT 12 has a much cooler option for you. We will air live coverage on TV. Plus, we're also going to be streaming it on KSAT.com.
So Fiesta, we know it's a party with a cause, and the Texas Cavaliers River Parade is no exception. Proceeds from the parade go towards the Cavalier Charitable Foundation, which raises money for children's charities. And this year, a $1 million check will benefit Haven for Hope here in San Antonio.
All right, and following the parade, SA Live will be hosting a River Parade after party, as they do, which will air from 9 to 10 p.m.
Have you ever gone in person to the parade?
Yes, I have.
Yeah?
I was actually in it one time.
No way.
I was working here at KSAT, and we got to kind of do a whole thing where, like, here's the angle from the parade route and stuff. So it was pretty fun. But I had been there also in person as well. I do enjoy it. This year's floats, though, are expected to really, really be bigger and better than anything that we've seen before. They hired a company out of New Orleans. They're the ones who do all the Mardi Gras floats as well. So, yeah, they're expecting some big things. Texas Alfresco is the theme of this year's
Are you going to be
parade.
there tonight?
I'm not, no.
You're not.
Sorry.
I'll be down there tonight, so if you're going to be at the Texas Cavaliers River Parade, say hello.
I'll be asking for a medal.
There you go.
I mean,
You're going?
Literally, I think
I'm not actually.
I'm
going to watch on TV.
Man.
Wow,
Yeah.
But
okay.
people are crazy about, we're crazy about the medals.
This is what we do. This is what we do. And I'm very excited about watching the parade tonight. Of course, the big question is the weather going to cooperate?
Yeah, because it looked a little cloudy.
It still is. I mean, and that's a good point. It's going to stay cloudy through much of the day. Alicia, I think we'll see mostly cloudy skies. As far as rain goes, rain chances are pretty low, but they are there. I do have to mention that. Right now, about a 30% chance is what we're thinking later this evening. Now, there are some breaks in the clouds, a few of them here and there, so the sun may pop out briefly. It is going to be a warm, somewhat humid day. The numbers right now at this hour, if you're about to head out to lunch, it's pretty warm, in the 70s for the most part here around South Texas. If we can get it to work. There we go. 72 Helotes, 74 Port SA, 73 Randolph, 76 in New Braunfels, 73 right now. Comfort, cloudy there. And again, those dew points are way up there into the 60s in several spots. So it's going to be a fairly humid day. So here's the setup, and I'm going to use the dew points to sort of explain what all is going on here. We've got a dry line out to the west, so behind that some very dry air, out ahead of it very moist air, and then there is a frontal boundary that snakes through North Texas. It's along that front where I think we have the best chance of storms today, and that's going to be to our north for the most part. So we're going to have to kind of wait on the dry line a little bit later tonight, and we know dry lines aren't great at generating storms. So this is around 6 o'clock. That dry line tries to come in a little closer to Del Rio. Severe weather risk today is going to be highest up across North Texas, parts of Louisiana. But we do have a risk for a few isolated storms, strong storms, a little bit later tonight. This light pink color does include San Antonio. It's low end, but it is there. So here's what the futurecast looks like, and it does show a couple showers through the lunch hour. Could pop up, nothing that'll be very heavy. And then by the afternoon, we'll start to see maybe a stray shower or even storm pop up, but I think it'll be few and far between. And then as we get into tonight, some storms possible out west, especially closer to, say, Del Rio, maybe into the hill country. There could be a few that pop up. And if they do, they could be strong, as we talked about. Midnight into early tomorrow morning. This shows a couple storms trying to make it to San Antonio. If they do, I think they'll probably be weakening at this point by tomorrow morning. And after 7 o'clock, all this moves away and we clear out and we got a hot day on your Tuesday. So, very important forecast here. Texas Cavaliers River Parade. We're thinking 80 degrees at 7 o'clock, 77 8 p.m., 75 9 p.m. It will be humid, but not overly hot. And there is that slight chance of rain. I think for the most part, we're going to get through the parade A-OK, and that's what we like to hear. As far as temperatures go, rest of today and going into tomorrow, and my clicker, man, it's super sluggish here. We're going to get working. 71 San Marcos by this afternoon, 83 here in San Antonio, 80 in Hondo. And then tonight into the 60s, and by tomorrow morning into the 60s. I feel like if I point it up here, it works better. I don't know why. And then
well, you are tall. I don't know if you get a better signal.
Some sort of signal
better
going
chance
on.
than I do.
So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day too, guys, because the sky's clear. We get up into the mid-90s. It's going to feel like summer tomorrow, really dry. I think we could see some triple digits on the map. And so it is going to be a hot one. Here's the extended forecast. We go 94 tomorrow. It does cool down Wednesday. Some fire danger there as it gets windy. And then the end of the week, man, this is incredible. 79 Thursday, 82 Friday. Morning lows in the 40s. Get some crisp, cool mornings. Really nice afternoons. Low humidity. About all you could ask for Battle of Flowers and Fiesta Flambeau. This is shaping up to be really good. So our one concern will be the River Parade today, and even then, not a huge concern.
I mean, it'll cool us off.
What's
the rain? The rain, if you're out there, I mean, not the worst news.
No, and I think they're putting out the rain rock today, right, for Nyosa?
They are, yes.
So.
We're actually live streaming that on KSAT.com, I think. Okay. Hey, also want to mention in that forecast there, Saturday morning, we're going to be out at King William Parade, so it looks like it's going to be nice weather out there. Yeah,
I should. We're trying to get it all in there.
There's a plug in. Yeah, anyways, Alicia and I are going to be hosting that event on a Saturday morning. That's at 9 a.m. So really excited about that. That's also become a pretty big fun part of Fiesta as well over the past few years.
Absolutely, it is. Well, that's your favorite event.
I like King William,
hands down.
Good time.
Mine is Nyosa.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Now you have the.
I know, but I wanted to go
Nyosa.
tomorrow for opening day, but 94?
Tomorrow's a lot.
Hot.
Yeah.
But Thursday, of course, the big day. Looks great.
Yeah,
I'll be there volunteering for that one on Thursday.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Appreciate that, man. So yes, we are going to wrap things up here this morning for KSAT News Now. Alicia, you're going to be out there then today? Are you going to have medals?
Oh, I'm like, where am I going to be?
You're just saying
probably not. I'm going for fun. Like, I'm not working or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't have any medals.
So just fair warning, Alicia will not have any medal tonight. She's just going out there for fun. But it should be a great night as we really get going here with Fiesta. Day 5 already. It's hard to believe we've already gone through the first weekend. But this is really, I think, the week that everything kind of kicks up and cranks up.
And I mean, even though it's Monday, is it really a Monday when it's Fiesta? Because every day is a good time. It's a party.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for being with us this morning on KSAT News Now. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and hopefully you guys have a great Monday.